All around the world and here in Connecticut, reacting to Osama bin Laden's death. Bin Laden, of course, the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks that killed dozens of people with ties to the state of Connecticut. News 8's Crystal Haynes continuing our team coverage today with reaction from the families of some of the 9/11 victims.
This day is bittersweet for so many across Connecticut. The news of Osama bin Laden's death a comfort to those who lost loved ones in 9/11. But certainly the memories of those loved ones weigh heavy on the heart.
Well, I think disbelief certainly was the first emotion that I felt, but then sort of comfort and appreciation to President Obama, the CIA, and the military installations that brought Osama bin Laden to justice.
New Canaan social worker turned activist Mary Fetchett among the many Connecticut families to flock to Ground Zero after news of bin Laden's death. She maintains a living memorial online, a project called The Voices of September 11th. Fetchett lost her 24-year-old son, Peter Gadiel of Kent, joining her in the city Monday morning. His son Peter Jr. was lost too, but he says he's not celebrating.
I think people are treating this more like a celebration, and this is just one man. This is not the end of the war, and also we shouldn't forget that 9/11 didn't have to happen. There was a great deal of, there were a great many failures in both the Clinton and Bush administrations, people who kept the FBI and CIA from talking with each other and created that wall that prevented the FBI and CIA from connecting the dots.
The weight of the day heavy on even the wayward passerby, gathering at memorials in municipalities across the state, like the one right here in Milford. As news of Osama bin Laden's death spreads across Connecticut, folks we talk to say they'll be gathering together to remember those lost and also the memory of where they were that day 10 years ago. We're on the scene here in Milford. I'm Crystal Haynes, News 8.
And as you would expect, emotions are running high today as people learn about the death of Osama bin Laden. News 8's Ken Pierce continues our team coverage now from Westport.
There are 153 names on Connecticut's official September 11th memorial, and the news that Osama bin Laden is dead is making many people think of these names and think about how their own lives were changed in that attack bin Laden launched against America almost 10 years ago. Michael Hagan walks through Sherwood Island State Park all the time, but on this day he decided it seemed right to stop at the September 11th memorial.
I think it's a time for Americans to be proud and just celebrate, and hopefully, as the president says, you know, we can all come together again for a few hours.
Most of the people named on this memorial lived in Fairfield County. Many of them took the train into work that September Tuesday, just like people were from the Fairfield train station on this Monday. Where were you on September 11th?
I was in New York, actually Columbus Circle, doing construction.
Yep. So you were in the city, you know what that day was like.
Yeah, it was a chaos that day.
I was actually in New York City. Yeah.
What was that day like for you?
It was terrifying. Terrifying.
It's nice to have the guy responsible.
Finally, justice has been had, yes.
It took 10 years of searching, but justice finally has come to the man behind the September 11th attacks. It's not going to bring back the thousands who died that day, but maybe their loved ones can rest just a little easier now. And above all, it is proof that many Americans will never forget that horrible day. Michael Hagan sure won't.
And I just thought this morning it would be good to come here and read these names to myself again. I'm not going to remember any of them, but that's, you know, somebody's got to remember it. It just seemed like a good day.
Remembering those names is exactly why they are literally etched in stone at the state's 9/11 memorial. And for anybody who knew one of the people named here, today is, as one visitor put it this morning, bittersweet. On the scene in Westport, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.